Now trending. Collaboration is the hot word in business. It's much more serious than networking because collaboration will lead you to quantum leaps. Many of you have listened to me talk about Price Pritchett and the whole concept of quantum leaps. The essence of collaboration is when you meet someone, and I ask you, have you ever met someone where you'd like to work with them more? Perhaps you're a solo entrepreneur, you're a small business owner, but you meet someone and you just feel, I think the two of us can collaborate to help each other's businesses. And I believe this is so important after the pandemic because we have this boom in technology, the Zoom, we have everything at our the text messages, Twitter, Instagram, all that nonsense now that helps our businesses. The idea of collaboration, however, is to get out of your comfort zone. Here's an example. I was recently interviewed by a gentleman whom I met through Alignable. We had spent several months just bantering back and forth, getting to know each other, really not talking about business so much, but enough to get comfortable with each other. He asked to interview me and my business, which I have two, my podcast. Also, I help people overcome the fear of public speaking. He just did a live stream. The live stream was interesting because we both live in Florida. He had storms on his East Coast. I had storms on my West Coast, but it was still fun to do. He asked great questions. He prepared himself before we had the interview, the live stream. Once it was finished and we passed our emails also, I found out that we actually have kismet because he studied with Proctor and Napoleon Hill. I am also a student of those two people. It's many things I talk about in my podcast. The whole idea of collaboration is you want to meet someone and don't treat this like a networking. This is a symbiotic relationship, but it's informal, where you are sharing project ideas, where you're sharing the ability to guide this person, where you're sharing advice if they need it, and you're not sending them an invoice. Because I am seeing these discovery calls, these consultation calls, where they tell you it's $120, where it's $199. Someone just told me the other day that some woman on LinkedIn is charging people $3,000 for a discovery call. Come on, people. So collaboration is really important to begin your business and to find someone where the two of you can help each other without sending each other an invoice. It's crazy. Remember, when you're doing this collaboration, it's going to lead you to quantum leaps. But you want to focus on building a business relationship with this other person where you can have a symbiotic relationship. Paul Finkelstein, I wasn't really sure where he was coming from. I know he has a financial planning background, but he also has this really cool webinar class, financial wellness. I find after the pandemic, a lot of us need some advice, or maybe the big umbrella of reevaluating our financial situations. This is not, everybody knows my wealth segment has nothing to do with money. However, I also know after the pandemic and losing everything in the pandemic, it's nice to have someone from the outside look and say, you're in your 60s. Here's some ideas for you. I mean, I went back to work because I know that I need to catch up to everything I lost in the pandemic. But again, it's really about us having, I'll help you, you help me. That can be guidance, it can be advice, it can be running an idea past you. So collaboration is now trending. I have his best link is Linktree, and it is on my podcast details. So collaboration, you want to be genuine and find the right person. This is not networking. You are not trying to build your connections. This is about finding the right person so the two of you can give each other advice, guidance, and don't send them a damn invoice. So there. Kundalini Yoga. Many of you know that I have practiced Kundalini Yoga for over 30 years every day. Even when I was selling wine and I was in France or Spain or Italy, I was roomed by myself because I told people I do yoga first thing in the morning and nobody wanted to room with me. It's that simple. However, Kundalini Yoga is not the only thing I've been practicing lately because being in my 60s, things are starting to change. Varicose veins, high blood pressure, I don't know. So I started with one of my colleagues is teaching, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this correctly, Jiu-Jitsu. It's so amazing. It helps me when I wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning. It helps me go back to sleep. Forget that breathing that they tell you to do. The counting to 8, hold till 4. Yeah, no. Jiu-Jitsu. The link is on my podcast details. It takes you to the Jiu-Jitsu website. This is someone who, once she is comfortable getting out in the universe and teaching her classes, I'm taking private classes from her right now. It works. So go on my podcast and check out the website Jiu-Jitsu because I think it'll even help you with arthritis. I don't really know, but I know it's helping me go back to sleep. I know it's helping me with pain in my thumb. So check it out. That's the point there. Now, when it comes to wine, many of you know that I started out with food and wine pairing classes. I kind of got away from that because I wanted to get into helping you folks understand that there's so many vast aspects of enjoying wine. I talked about different countries and all kinds of varietals, etc. So I'm going to get back to food and wine pairing. Very quickly, there are two quintessential food and wine pairings I absolutely love. I was raised in Texas. I married a Frenchman. Therefore, Bordeaux Blanc, a good Bordeaux Blanc, and guacamole is one of the best food and wine experiences you'll ever have. Yes, I'm very serious about that. Also, Philippe used to say to me, "Baby, will you please make the black bean salsa that I so love?" Now, black bean salsa is very robust, so you need a robust Burgundy. Doesn't have to be expensive, but you can't just get a generic everyday Pinot Noir. You can't. You got to get something that's got a little bit of oomph to it. Quite honestly, you could do a Beaujolais Village. So those are my two food and wine pairing suggestions. I'm going to go forward with that. There's not going to be anything in my podcast details about those two suggestions other than Bordeaux Blanc, guacamole, so much fun, black bean salsa, a nice Burgundy. You can DM me, you can text me, don't call me, send me an email. I'm always here to help you folks. I have 23 plus years of food and wine experience, so do that. To wrap this up, collaboration is now trending. Just find one person who's worth their weight in salt and start collaborating. It has to be reciprocated. That's really. And don't stay in your profession. Find someone totally out of your profession that you can start a symbiotic relationship with. Jiu-Jitsu, you got to check it out. It's so good. It's so good. It's really good. Yeah, it's helped me go back to sleep and some other stuff too I have a sore thumb. Lastly, food and wine pairing, really quintessential. I'm going to keep sending out really eclectic pairings that are very simple. I mean, come on. Guacamole's everywhere. You can buy that nonsense at the store. You can buy black bean salsa at the store. Just make sure you get a good wine, not swill. I'm Valerie Hale. I create this podcast on a weekly basis to help people in many facets of their life. Basically, my mission is to help people with their mindset, help them have better thoughts, and take the action steps that will help them have a life they deserve. Merci, et au revoir.